It's Wednesday, it's 2 o'clock. Welcome to Dear Smiley. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. And if you're watching back on the replay, then thanks too for joining us. So how's your day going? How's your Wednesday? It's pretty grim out there. It's rainy. I love the rain. I know you think I'm nuts, but I really do love the rain. I love the sound. If you just listen to the sound of the rain falling on the windows and being snug and safe inside, it's really nice. So if you don't like the rain, it's not good for frizzy hair, but if you don't like the rain, I'm sorry. And I hope that our summer or spring is on its way soon. I know it makes the rush hour traffic really bad actually, and we're about an hour away from school pickup, so that's good. So today on Dear Smiley, I've got a letter from another child about dealing with a tricky friend. But before I start that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who nominated and voted for me for the Muddy Stilettos Award, which is for Children's Best Business. I'm so excited. It's really nice to get that acknowledgement. And, it's not about winning. It's just about knowing that people do listen to what I say and appreciate information sharing, because I kind of rely on you guys a lot. What I'm doing here is very different and new and forward thinking, and recently the royal family have jumped on the bandwagon of mental and emotional health, and that's great, and I can feel that there's a shift out there and people are starting to recognise that this stuff's really important. But if we don't keep talking about it, if we don't keep showing up and talking about it, then how can we help our kids? And my why for doing this, the reason I show up and do this every week, is because I can't stand the thought of a child being alone in their bedroom and wanting to hurt themselves, or feeling like they've got no one, or feeling like they're alone. And every week when I do these videos, I go and put them on YouTube, and then I email them out to parents. And I just think if there's one child that watches it and feels better for seeing it, then that's brilliant, and that's why I'm doing it. But I do need you to help me. So I don't want to be the naggy mum, but I feel like you guys are being the Kevin the teenager. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want that in my newsfeed. Oh, I'll stop being the naggy mum and just remind you gently and kindly to like and share with people who you think need to see this stuff. There's so many people out there that don't talk about their stuff, where you hold stuff deep inside and you feel like you're alone with it. Then that's not a nice road to go down, and there's no need for people to go down that road, because help is here and we're all here, and we should be reaching out and supporting each other. So I just feel very strongly about that. So it's not about how many Facebook likes I get and how many people see my posts. I just want to create an awareness and create a noise for these kids, so that they're not holding themselves up or doing damage to themselves or feeling like there's something wrong with them. It's really, really important. Okay, so I'll stop being the naggy mum now. And you guys, I know you've heard me, and I know you want to support me, and there are people that come on this page and you're amazing. So that's my sermon over, my housekeeping over before I start my Dear Smiley. So let's get cracking. This is a lovely letter. It's really honest, and I can kind of see myself in this letter. So I'm going to read it to you. And remember, if you've got something you want to ask me, if there are any children watching this, it doesn't matter how old you are, write to me, lisa@smileyforlife.com, and I will use your letter anonymously, so no one's going to know it's you, and I will try and help you and give you some support and advice so that you can deal with whatever it is it's struggling, because life is a struggle. And I think we know that we can't protect our children from the struggle, but what we can do is we can give them the tools to deal with it. That's the important thing. We can't protect them and wrap them up in cotton wool, unfortunately, and if we do that, it's not very helpful anyway. Okay, so Dear Smiley, my best friend and I have been close since we were little. We are very different but went to the same school, and our mums are friends. My best friend is very confident and is the leader of our group. I am quieter but definitely kinder. We've had lots of fallouts, and in the end I give in because I don't like all the arguing and the drama. Don't blame you. Earlier this year I made a new friend at dance class. I'm spending less time with my old best friend, and I can tell that she's upset. This makes me feel guilty, but I've realised that my new dance friend is so much easier to be with. She listens when I talk, and last week at the cinema she let me decide where we sat. She sounds nice. I'm not sure about my old best friend anymore, unless I can be more like this with her. I want to talk and be more confident. I think I have changed. But when I'm with her, I feel small and like the old me. And I don't like this because she bosses me around and it's really hard to say no to her. Do you know what? I think we've all got people like that in our lives that are a bit tricky and a bit difficult to say no to. So you're not alone with that. And it's just, we can find ways to stand up to these people. I worry if these two friends will get on. Do you think I can be friends with both of them? I hope you can help me. Thank you, love. A confused dancer, age 10. Oh, confused dancer, age 10. First of all, I want to say well done, because you've obviously grown and changed as a person. You're not the same person you were when you were little and you met this person. And what happens is people come into our lives and they grow with us, or we move away from them and we make new friends that are more like the person we've become. And that's okay, that's part of life, and it's nothing to feel bad about. It's nothing personal to the other people. We're all just on our own little journeys, making our own way to wherever we need to get to, and we bump into people along the way, and some of those people stay with us for the whole journey, and some people, you know, they drop off to the McDonald's drive-in and they don't come out again. And you know what? We're fine with that. We're totally fine with that. So I also think what I love about this letter is that you're learning what matters to you in a friendship, so what you think is important. And I think this is the basis of all really strong friendships that last a lifetime. So people that share the same values as you, people that think that the same things are important in their life, are likely to stay in your life for a long time. So I really value honesty and loyalty, and I also really value kindness. They're three of my top values. And if people are not kind, people are dishonest, and people are not loyal to me, I don't want them in my life. Now that may sound really harsh because we're brought up to all play nicely together, but friendship is a choice, and we can opt out of friendships. We can say it's not for us, and we can still be kind, and we can do it nicely without hurting people. People might not like what we're saying, but we're not intentionally hurting them. And I noticed, confused dancer, in this letter you're saying to me, I feel guilty because I've upset her. So when we feel guilty about something, it's normally because we feel responsible for it. So what I'm hearing is that you somehow feel responsible for your friend being upset. Now, that gives you a lot of power, and actually nobody has the power to make anybody feel bad. Nobody has the power to make you feel bad without your permission. We're all responsible for our own feelings. So whilst it may be hard to break away from a friend or not be with a friend anymore, and yes, it's upsetting and people are going to cry and they're going to have to go through a period where they miss that friendship and they're going to feel the loss of it, but that's a healthy ending to something, and that gives people the opportunity to think back on what happened in that period, that friendship, and then learn something from it and then take it forward. I always think people teach us stuff about ourselves, but when we've learnt the lesson, then we can move on from it. So that's really, really important. So you don't have the power to make somebody else feel bad. Anyone that says you make me or you've done this, and no, it's not true. That's a fib. You're not responsible for how your friend feels. Yes, it is sad what's happening, but it's by no means your fault, and it's not your responsibility. These things happen in life. And I'm hearing that you're afraid of something, and it sounds like you're afraid of her, but what is it exactly that you're afraid of? I think I might know, but I just want you to think about that. I think when we're scared that people will be upset with us, or we're scared that people won't like us, and we need people to like us, and we need people to be okay with us, then we give our power away. We give our power away because we are going to meet people in life who reject us. People will disappoint us. Life won't go according to plan, and we have to kind of know that bad things don't last forever. That's the smiley thought card, and we have to ride the waves of the ups and downs. But if we are afraid of people not liking us, or we need people to like us, and we're afraid that people will be upset with us, we give off an energy that's desperate. It says, please like me, please like me, please like me. And actually what we end up doing is we attract people in who use their power unwisely. They're unkind, and they mistreat us, and they take advantage of the fact that we want to be liked. And normally people that want to be liked are people pleasers. They're nice people. So they don't need to fall over themselves to get people to like them. They're very likeable as they are. So I wanted to tell you a bit about me when I was growing up, because I think this might help you. When I was a child, I think I said this on last week's Dear Smiley, so if you haven't watched it, you can go and catch up with it on YouTube. I really wanted to fit in, and I think at certain points in our life we really need to feel like we belong. So we belong to our families, and then we might belong to a church, or we might belong to a guides or scouts. We belong in a classroom at school. But if we feel like we haven't found somewhere that's our home that we belong to, then we need people to like us. We're desperate to fit in, and that's a very different energy to being very comfortable in your own skin and saying, this is who I am. If you don't like me, I'm fine with that. And by the way, if you're not being yourself, okay, if you don't know yourself and you're not being yourself, and kids who come on my Secret Ingredients for Self-Confidence workshop and Friendship Know-How workshop get to know themselves. And by that I mean, don't hide your light, don't hide who you are. Share the quirkiness and the randomness of who you are, because by being who you are, you'll attract the right people. So I am a crystal lover. Look, what have I got here? I've got this crystal that I wear around my neck. I'm a total hippie. I don't always advertise that fact on social media, but people that have been following me for a while know that I talk to my angels, and that I love crystals, and that I do angel cards, and I'm a complete and utter hippie, and I want peace throughout the whole world. It's not possible with some people, but I do want peace. I really want peace. And if I hide away the fact that I like crystals, and I hide away those bits about me, and people don't know that about me, all the people out there that love crystals and angels and all the same things as I do won't come and be my friend, because I'm pretending to be someone else. So don't pretend, be who you are. Don't copy and be like the rest of them to fit in and belong. You don't need to do that. If you just show up and be yourself, you're amazing as you are. You're saying you're a dancer, so I hope that you talk about your dancing, and you are drawn to people that like creative arts and performing. I hope you've got nice people outside of school. But other things about me, I love Ant and Dec. Do you know why I love Ant and Dec though? Because people say, I think it was Dec that said it, or I can't remember Ant, if anyone finds a friendship like ours in this lifetime, they will be incredibly lucky. And if you look at the dynamic between the two of them, there's nothing but love there. Love and laughter. And who could want any more than that in a friend? So I like to talk about Ant and Dec and Stephen Mulhern and Britain's Got Talent, and I'm a Celebrity. That's my thing. So anyone who doesn't really like those sort of shows, they're not going to want to be my friend, because that's what I'm going to talk about. I hope that's not the only reason why they'd be my friend. But what I want you to do today is get a piece of paper and list on it all the quirky things that you are, and maybe some of the sneaky things that you're hiding about yourself that you think, oh, I can't tell people that because they'll think I'm weird. What makes you weird is what makes you wonderful. So I'm just sensing, Confused Dancer, that you've gone from being this type of person and you've grown into this type of person, and you've attracted in your dance friend, and your old friend is just that friendship has done its time. I'm not sure why you're worried about the two of them being friends. That's not your responsibility. If they don't get on, or there's any sort of rivalry between them, or they're fighting over you, I would step out of that. That's between the two of them. That's not for you to get involved in. You could be friends with whoever you like, because friendship is a choice. So I want everyone to go out and be who they are today, and think about their quirkiness that makes them them. Think about stuff where you think, oh, I'm not putting that on Facebook, or oh, I can't put that on Instagram, or I'm not going to talk about that because people will think I'm nuts. But what makes you weird is what makes you wonderful. So just be wonderful you. Isn't that Dr. Zeus says, wonderful you? I've got a book called Incredible You that I do with my kids. So you have to know who you are, get to know yourself, and be your own best friend. You're a limited edition. There is only one of you in the whole world, just one of you. And I know all of you that are listening now, if you're in your bedrooms and you're feeling lonely and you feel like you've got no friends, or you feel like nobody gets you, I get you. and you're fine the way you are, and you just need to write a list of all those things that make you wonderful and go out and show them to the world. And don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. So The other thing I wanted to say to this confused dancer is there's a couple of skills that I could help you with, and I'm thinking that boundaries is one of them. Now, we've talked about boundaries on here loads of time before, and I want to direct you to my blog, which is smileyforlife.com/keep-me-safe. /keep-me-safe. There's a beautiful exercise in there which shows you how to draw boundaries and just let into your personal space what you value, what makes you happy. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't let it into your life, people included. Life is short, life is precious, just make the most of it. But the other thing is about being assertive and saying no. Now, I feel like you need to be assertive with your best friend, and I've got a great technique for that, which is called the poo burger. So if you hop on over to my blog, Keep Me Safe, the one that I've just quoted, and it tells you how to deliver a poo burger. A poo burger. So I feel like you need to poo burger your old mate, and I feel like you need to say to her something like, I've noticed that you're getting upset with me, and I feel like our friendship's changed, and I don't know how you feel about that, but I know we're spending less time together, and if you still want to be friends, say to her, I'd still like to be friends with you, but, you know, I'm doing X, Y, and Z now, and if you want to come along and join me, you're welcome to. And just you can choose a friendship, but you can always be friendly and kind. I think that's the most important thing. You can deliver it in kindness. You can say no and set boundaries and still be a nice person, which I think people don't understand. And that's the thing about the people having power over you. If you don't know who you are, and you don't turn up in all your wonderfulness and weirdness and quirky ways, and you can't be true to yourself, and you need people to like you, and you're pretending to be someone you're not, it'll be really hard for you to set boundaries, and your power will be with the other person, and it'll be an imbalanced relationship. And I always think relationships that are out of balance, that aren't balanced, they don't last, because someone always ends up feeling rubbish and the other person's always feeling right, because, you know, they always get to play the game they want to play, they always get to do what they want to do. You know, I don't really like hanging around with selfish people like that. I like people who take it in turns because it's a kind thing to do. The other thing that I think will help you is, and I know you've seen me come online and talk about it, are my smiley thought cards. So if you want to get to know yourself, these are a great way to get to know yourself. And there's a sale on for these this week because the price is going up on the 28th of May. So $15.99 a box. If you go to the website smileyforlife.com/sale. And just before I came online today, I did actually pick a card for Confused Dancer, because these are such a great source of comfort for people when they doubt themselves. And when you doubt yourself, it's a sign that you don't know yourself very well. Look at the card I picked. It's a positivity card. It's a rainbow card. And it says, I stay calm when others get mad. So what that's saying is, if you set a boundary and someone gets the hump with you, or someone kicks off, or someone doesn't like it, you just stay calm. And on the back it says, imagine a calm place inside your mind. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Walk away from the madness. Just don't engage in it. You don't need to go there. You're not responsible for making sure your friend feels okay. You're not responsible. You don't have to be mean. You can be kind and assertive. So there is another blog post actually called, so it's smileyforlife.com/assert yourself. And it talks about using your powerful voice. Your powerful voice is not your quiet voice, or when you're being passive, when you're just letting things happen around you and you're not really engaging in that. And your loud voice is your aggressive voice, when you're name calling and not being nice to people. But your powerful voice is somewhere in the middle. Quiet, loud, powerful. When you step into your power and you take responsibility for what's going on and you set boundaries with the other person so they know where they stand with you. I believe this is the reason why so many children are being bullied, because they don't know how to assert themselves and set boundaries, because they're taught at home. So mums and dads, if you're listening, they're taught at home that if they go against the grain or they say no, that's a punishable offence, and that if they're not conforming, they're going to get into trouble. So I want any mums to watching think about, and not in a case of where your child is going to be put in danger, obviously, but think about the times when you can hear your child's no and acknowledge it, and let them have a go at saying no to you. Don't meet them head on in a power struggle. You know, if they say, I don't want a bath tonight and it's Saturday night and you're not doing anything tomorrow, say, okay, what's the deal? You don't have to have a bath tonight, but you're going to have a wash, or you're going to have a wash tomorrow. Or I'm just thinking, like, let them sometimes say no. Like, do you have to kind of stick to your word every time? I think you can let them say no when it's not a matter of life or death, which most of the time it isn't. Most of the time it isn't. So, also, I'd like to invite you all to my summer club, where we'll be working on our inner smile, which I've been talking about, so that you can sign up for that, smileyforlife.com/summer club. The summer club is going to be amazing. It's going to teach you things like setting boundaries, and we're going to be doing some yoga, and we're going to be working on our breathing, and we're going to learn how to protect ourselves and zip up our energy. Probably going to be using some crystals. I'm coming out of my hippie closet. Oh, are you going to like me? Do you know what? If you don't like me and it's not for you, then you can unlike my page, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with it. So all of this stuff about stepping into our power and realizing that, oh, there's a lovely poem actually. I think it's Reason, Season and Lifetime, which talks about why people come into our life. So people come into our life for a reason, to teach us something about ourselves. In this case, confused dancer, your old best friend is teaching you to be more assertive and step into your power. And when you've done that and you've moved on from that friendship, you can say thank you to her, because if she hadn't rocked up in your life, you wouldn't have learnt these new skills. So thanks, old best friend, for being a slight pain in the bottom. That's great. So reason, season, so people that just come in for a short chunk of time, you know, like someone you might meet on holiday, or someone that you do meet at guides and then you don't hook up with them again afterwards. Seasonal, maybe on social media, people that you meet online or through Instagram. And then lifetime friends. So I have a lifetime friend. I've known her since I was very little, and I'm 43 and she's been my friend forever. And we've been through our ups and downs, and we've changed and gone down different roads. But somehow we have some very strong values, I think, which hold us together. We have similar values about honesty and loyalty and kindness. So that's probably why we've stayed together. So think about your values for your friendships. Think about your quirkiness. What's weird is what makes you wonderful. Oh, you like that, do you, Julia? Oh, cool. I'm going to come and read the comments and see if anyone... Guys, if you want to ask me questions about this stuff, about setting boundaries, or about showing up and being yourself, it takes courage. But before you can be brave, you have to be scared. And you're only scared for like a millisecond. Every time I show up on here before I'm about to go live, I'm scared. And then when I come off, and sometimes I don't watch the playback, I just go and type all my links in because I don't want to look at myself. And I start to doubt myself and think, did I give the right message? You know, did I say everything I wanted to say? We all do that. We all doubt ourselves. All of us do. So this stuff isn't easy. It can be tricky. And when you're a kind, sensitive person, it's very, very tricky, because you do care about how other people feel, but you're not responsible for their feelings. They are responsible for them. So if there are any questions, I'm going to come on to the chat room and see if anyone's got anything to say. There's quite a few people online today, which is nice. Hello, Anne. Hello, Julia. How lovely. How lovely to see you here. I can see, who else can I see? Claire, hello Claire. Yeah. The bullying, the thing is the kids out there today, it's so hard for them. All I'm hearing at the moment is how stressful exams are for them. I know some of them are just doing their SATs, aren't they? But I know there's other exams going on at other schools. And the bullying and the bitching and the backstabbing and the... I just don't know what's going on out there. It just seems to be a world full of fear. There's a world full of fear out there, and we're all buying into it. We're all buying into it, and then we're plopping our kids into all this fear. The anxiety is off the charts. People don't feel safe. You know, it is safe to assert yourself and say, no, thank you, I don't want to do that. And actually, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. I've only just learnt this stuff coming into my 40s. If I'd have known it when I was a kid, wow, it would have made such a world of, I mean, I wouldn't be doing this for a living, that's for sure, but it would have made a massive difference to my life. And I care that children have these tools so they feel safe. What is worse than being a kid and not having an adult around and not feeling safe? Because we're not always going to be with them, and we shouldn't want to be with them all the time, because that's unhealthy and that doesn't help them. But we have to trust them to go out there and be able to take care of themselves. But in order to do that, in order to be able to trust them, we have to give them the tools and make sure that we keep the communication open and make sure we keep talking to them and checking in with them. That's so important. Yeah, Anne, I had a little bit of a grief moment, a bit of a sad moment where I felt really upset that I didn't learn this stuff growing up, because I really struggled, and that made me quite sad that I didn't have that growing up. But actually, when I flip that on its head and I learn the lesson from it, I think, brilliant, now I'm learning how to do it, and now I'm able to give that away to other people to help them. But it's really hard to teach people how to set boundaries, which is why I'm saying go and do the boundary exercise on the blog. It's hard because everyone's values are different, everyone's tolerance levels are different, everyone has different sticking points. So what I might tolerate and what you might tolerate, Anne, are completely different things. And I was very tolerant probably about 5 years ago. I've become much more boundaried being self-employed, but now I'm much less tolerant. I don't tolerate, you know, if there's even the smallest thing where I think someone's being disrespectful or taking advantage of me, or, you know, not being kind, I'm just like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm done. Be warned, world. Smiley's got boundaries. But that comes from being treated badly and feeling bad and just thinking, do you know what, I'm not having that anymore. I'm not having that. And I think I've been bullied covertly and subtly in lots of ways throughout my life, but I've allowed that to happen. But God bless me, I had no boundaries, so of course it was going to happen to me. Of course it was, and that's the same for you. So I really hope that today gets out to all those children that need to assert themselves and set boundaries. And after I've posted the video up, when I'm finished, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and share with people who you think will benefit, because first of all, I want everyone to be who they're meant to be. That's why we're here. If you don't show up and be who you're meant to be, you're adding your little flavour into the world. That's what makes the world a colourful place. Don't be vanilla or beige, please. I'm a bit stripy today with flowers. And I also want the kids to have these tools. So important. Like, can't stress it enough. Do you think they've got the message now? Can I go? Do you think I've got my point across? How passionately I feel about this stuff. What's the time? Oh, it's 2:30. It's 2:30. Time for a cup of tea, and then I'm off to coach. So thank you everyone who's shown up today for listening in. It's lovely to see you all, and I really hope it's helpful, and I will be here the same time next week. Okay? All right. Take care. See you soon.